Cheevo, guys!
What up, guys? This is
Cheevo, guys!
back here again with another achievement guide. Today, we're going to be focusing on Storm Boy. This game has 11 achievements and offers 1000 gamer score. In terms of how long it's going to take to complete, this is about a 20-minute completion or platinum trophy. On top of that, it's only $5.99. There are submissible achievements, so make sure that you follow along with the guide. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. Once the game starts, we're just going to keep heading over to the right hand side. It's going to run some dialogue across the screen. Basically, this game is based off of an Australian children's book. They have also made movies about the story, but basically it's about a kid that finds some pelicans, baby pelicans, and he ends up raising one to be his pet. He calls him Mr. Percival. Anyhow, once you get to the area where it is daylight, you're just going to keep walking over to the right hand side, and we're going to run into our first minigame. Go ahead and press A, and when you're flying with the bird, you can change directions by simply pressing left or right. We need to change directions 15 times for our first achievement. That's going to unlock the Born to Fly achievement for 100 gamer score, or changing direction 15 times. So once we get that achievement, we can go ahead and exit with B. We're going to keep walking over to the right to the next mini game. Here we are going to have to dig out the seashells. You could do so by just hovering over one, and you're going to keep pressing A to dig one out. We need to do this 20 times to get this achievement. I went ahead and edited through my footage, that way you guys didn't have to wait for me to do that 20 times. But once you do it 20 times, you are going to get the achievement for 75 gamer score called Digger. That's for finding 20 cockles. I don't know what a cockle is, but let's just refer to it as a seashell. We're just going to keep walking over to the right. You're going to end up talking to this little penguin. Going to keep advancing over to the right, and then you are going to find the nest of the little pelicans. So you're going to pick up the baby pelicans, and we're just going to keep walking over to the right. We're going to try to raise these little things. If you read the dialogue, it says that one of them is pretty sick. If you keep walking over to the right, we're going to end up in our next minigame, where we're going to end up feeding the 3 pelicans. Now, during the feeding minigame, we are going to be able to get 2 achievements or trophies. First one is going to be for feeding all 3 of them. So just make sure to throw at least 1 fish at each of them. This is going to unlock the fish magnet achievement for 75 gamer score for feeding all 3 pelicans. Next, we get an achievement for making each pelican angry. You can make a pelican angry by simply feeding the other birds instead of them. Once they're angry, they're going to shake their head in disappointment. We just need to make sure that we get all 3 to shake their head. We can do one at a time. Eventually, you're going to unlock the Hangry Birds achievement for 75 gamer score for making sure that all 3 pelicans were angry. Next, it's going to cut to a cutscene with some dialogue of you talking to your dad in front of the sunset. He's basically going to let you know that you guys can't afford to feed the pelicans anymore, and that you're going to need to take them to the sanctuary. It says that they sailed 5 miles up to the sanctuary, where he stepped off the boat and let the pelicans go and told them they have to look after themselves. So basically he's going to get all sad and he's going to start walking down the beach. You're just going to keep walking down to the right hand side. The dialogue says that he got sad and then he went to the beach and he just started fishing. But what do you know? There he is, Mr. Percival. He came back. Somehow the bird friend found us. So you're going to sit down at the beach, going to hug your bird friend, and you're going to watch the sunset. Go ahead and press A to advance to the next part of the game. Now the next part of the game is going to have a few mini games that you're going to end up doing with you and Mr. Percival. So the first one is going to be over here to the right hand side. You're going to see a little boat or raft. We're going to go ahead and interact with that. Now first thing you want to do is keep turning until you see some boats in the distance. Once you see the boats, we're just going to keep sailing towards them. Keep sailing all the way until you're not able to sail anymore. You're going to see some buoy looking things that are going to block us from moving forward. Once we stop, we can get out of the boat with Y, and we could dive into the water with A. we just need to keep pressing A to swim all the way to the bottom. Once you touch the bottom, you are going to unlock an achievement for reaching the bottom of the ocean. That's going to be the adventurous achievements for swarming the deepest parts of the ocean. That's 100 gamer score. After you get that achievement, make sure that you don't swim all the way up. We basically need to drown ourselves by staying under the water. So stay under the water until he runs out of breath, and then what's going to happen is he's automatically going to swim to the top. Once he swims to the top, you are going to unlock an achievement for 75 gamer score called Dive Expert for remaining underwater for the maximum amount of time. We're going to go ahead and press B to exit that minigame. We're going to head over to the right hand side. You're going to see a stick in the sand. Go ahead and interact with it. You can draw anything you want, just scribble a little bit, whatever's clever. And then once you design something, you can go ahead and press B. It's going to leave that drawing in the sand, and that's going to unlock our next achievement called Artist for 50 gamer score for leaving artwork on the beachfront. So we can go ahead and advance, keep going to the right. Pretty much this whole game involves just heading over to the right hand side. I don't think you ever have to head over to the left. The next minigame involves you throwing the ball into the ocean, and Mr. Percival is going to fetch it. We need to throw the ball into the ocean 3 different times because you need to make sure that he dives into the ocean to get the ball. The achievement is for making him dive into the ocean 3 different times. So just keep throwing the ball and playing some fetch. After he takes the ball out for the 3rd time, we are going to unlock the commitment achievement for 75 gamer score. After that, keep heading over to the right hand side. You're going to see a piece of cardboard. We can use this as a sled in the next minigame. Once you enter the minigame, you can go ahead and press B right away. You don't need to reach the bottom or anything like that. We can go ahead and keep on advancing. There is no achievement related to that sled minigame. However, you do need to make sure that you go in and out of it. Next, we're going to end up in a storm area. You're just going to keep walking over to the right hand side. And then eventually we are going to run across 2 people. We can go ahead and talk to them. I think it's your dad and your mom that you're talking to. And basically they're letting you know that there's a shipwreck in the distance. So you are going to send Mr. Percival to go be the hero, and he's going to fly a line out to the shipwreck. This minigame is one of the harder minigames in the game. This is also going to be one of the last ones. All you have to do is just stay in the center. If you go too far to the right or too far to the left, you will die and have to restart that minigame. Once you get to the ship, we are going to unlock an achievement called Our Hero for 100 gamer score for saving the sailors from a sinking ship. The sailor is going to tell you what a great pelican you have, that he saved their lives, and that he wants to put a statue of the pelican in the museum. Anyhow, once you get to the daylight again, we are going to keep heading over to the right hand side. The dialogue is going to mention that duck hunting season has just begun. It says that Mr. Percival would try to help to save the ducks, and he would fly around to warn them if he heard gunshots or knew that the hunters were out. So Mr. Percival tried to have the ducks' backs. But then one sad morning, sadly, your boy Mr. Percival gets shot. He gets shot by the duck hunter. Sad story, man. Sad story. Poor little boy lost his best friend. So unfortunately, there is no happy ending here, only a sad ending. I guess there is a happy ending because your boy Mr. Percival ends up going to heaven. Once you end up in the heaven minigame, you just need to keep flying all the way down to where the sun rays lead you. You can just keep flying down. As long as you get close to it, it'll end up teleporting you to the next cutscene. So just keep flying down. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this. But once you get to the bottom, it is going to trigger the next cutscene and dialogue. This is where the game ends, guys. You're going to basically talk to Mr. Percival in heaven, or whatever you want to call this. You need to make sure to walk over to the right hand side. Once you walk up to him, that is going to complete the game and unlock our second to last achievement. We still will need to unlock one last achievement after this. But that is the Goodbye Mr. Percival achievement for 150 gamer score. We're saying goodbye to Mr. Percival. And that's how the story ends, guys. So the last achievement is going to be to go into remember mode. Once we go back to the menu, we have a remember option now. I'm going to click remember and it's going to pop up all of the mini games that we played. We need to make sure to dive into each of these mini games at least one time. Once you go into the mini game, you can press B to exit it. We just need to go in and out of each mini game. Once you have joined all 9 mini games, we are going to end up unlocking our last achievement. That is the remember achievement for 125 gamer score for playing each minigame once through the remember menu. And that gives us our full completion or platinum trophy. As always guys, I appreciate you tuning in. If this video helped you out, please leave a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe.